there, and welcome to Contemporary Living with Farmer and Hill. I am one of the hosts, Melissa Farmer Hill, and this guy is my husband. And tell him your name.
Andre.
It's Andre Hill.
Andre Hill,
Yeah.
yes. We appreciate everybody from tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
We have a great show ahead of us right now,
Absolutely.
and we have Miss Catherine over here. Introduce yourself to
Let me start off.
Yeah.
How about this? Let me give you a proper introduction. All right. So this is special because it's all about girl power today. Today, sweetie, okay? I know how you get.
So I'll be sitting back in the cut.
No. But we have, one of our passions on this show is finance.
Yes.
So we have a mortgage money coach. She is a financial education advocate, and she is a passionate presenter. But more importantly than all those other great things I said, she has been in the real estate business as a mortgage officer for over 15 years. So this is not Google it. This is some real stuff that we're giving you today. And I'm so excited to have Ms. Catherine Okoro on the show. And one of the things I want to talk about first is one of the organizations that she's a part of. So hi, Catherine.
Hello, thank you for having me.
No problem.
What a nice introduction, by the way. I was like, what am I?
I had prepared that, and Andre was ready to go straight into the
Yeah,
show.
I was thirsty.
Right.
What am I? Oh, wow.
But I want to talk about one of the organizations that you're a part of, and it's called the Realtus Women's Council of Illinois.
Absolutely.
So why don't you just tell us a little bit about that before we get into the interview?
Okay, so I'm really excited to talk about the Realtors Women's Council. I actually just became a member this year, and even though I've been in the industry for a long time, I was a solo loan officer. I'm accustomed to working by myself and just kind of staying in my little huddle. And I was approached by some other ladies in the industry to come and be a little bit more active and start seeing, what was happening, particularly in the African American community.
Yes.
And the Realtors Women's Council actually had been defunct for about 8 years. And I was asked to become a part of the revival, if you will, to reignite the flame that was once the Women's Council. So here's an organization that was started many years ago that had for 8 years it lay dormant and was reignited this year. I'm currently the planning committee chairperson. And so my responsibility primarily is to spearhead the initiative to train and educate industry professionals, plan events around that programming, financial education, charitable events to really push forward the mission of the organization, which is to educate, particularly in the African American community. So I'm excited about that, and we're ready to rock in 2018. So.
Awesome!
Excellent.
I
Excellent.
can't wait to see some of the events that you have that you the organization will have starting next year.
Yeah, we started having. So this year we were, we had our plan. We planned some events out, and they're kind of, you know how you plan things and they start shaping up.
Yes.
And so one of the things that we do now is we have a regular monthly coffee talk. And what that is that's the good old fashioned, sit around the table, have some good food, and have a great conversation.
Yeah.
And we had our first coffee talk in October. It was great. We had that at Oak Park at the Live Cafe. And we had a great number of women come, and the topic was building sisterhood in the industry. In our industry, it's very competitive.
Right.
And what usually happen is, you have a lot of, don't work with that person, this person's like that. You might have that, but we wanted to do something different because we can all thrive and we don't have to stab each other in the back to be successful.
Exactly.
So that was the first coffee talk, and then we just had another coffee talk last month, actually. 2 days ago, actually, this week. And the other thing with our coffee talks is we always have an additional theme. So for the one that we had in October, we also did a balloon release for breast cancer awareness. And this one, we had a coat drive. So we were all standing outside taking pictures of the coats that everybody brought. That was the admission, was a coat. Bring a coat and come free, to the coffee talk. So we have a holiday party in December. We have installation of our officers in January, and we have Real Men Buy Houses in February.
Awesome.
So we have a lot of events already planned, and my responsibility is to make sure they happen and that they're excellent. And I have a team of phenomenal women and men
Okay.
that are very interested in that and that help us to make sure that the events are successful and well attended. So
Okay, I just want you to share a little bit, a little tidbit that we had talked about before the show came on. You use the word, like we're used to the word realtor.
yeah.
And the name of the organization, it starts with Realtists.
Yeah.
So can you just kind of give us just a little synopsis of why is it Realtists as opposed to Realtors?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you, me alike, I didn't know that, right? So Martin Luther King, you know, we'll go back to the Civil Rights Movement. We were not allowed to be realtors. Other folks could sell homes to us, but we could not sell homes, period. We go back to redlining. You know, I'm
Yes,
not an expert
redlining,
on the
familiar with that.
history, but we were not able to be real estate professionals. So you are banned from being called a realtor. Okay, well then call us realtists. You know,
Right.
so now we're realtists, and this is what we do. You know, so which kind of takes me back a little bit to the national organization, which is the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, which is the largest and national organization for Black real estate professionals in the country. And then under that you have the Dearborn Realtors Board, which was actually founded before the NARAB. Right, I believe it was 1947. It's one of the oldest organizations for Black real estate professionals in the country, and I'm also a part of that as well. So we have the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, we have the Dearborn Realtors, which is a chapter of the National Association of Realtors, and then we have the Realtors Women's Council of Illinois, which is the sister organization of the Dearborn Realtors. So basically, we're all connected.
Right,
Okay.
right.
And
Wonderful,
we're
wonderful.
doing things to advance the wealth creation in real estate in the Black community. And I'm on a mission right now as an entire group to help over 2 million African American families become homeowners in the next 5 years. So that's our big
Awesome.
initiative.
Yeah. So,
wow.
so you know what? And all this, and we haven't even started the interview. I think that's great. No, it's perfect. So now let's get into the interview portion. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to be this phenomenal person that you are in your industry, helping how many? 2 million?
Well, did I say alone? I am not alone in that.
Okay.
Correct.
I'm not alone in that.
You play a large part, though.
I do my best.
Right.
So I became a loan officer because I thought that it was a way for me to help my community. I didn't, everybody thinks that once you become a loan officer, you just do loans, you push interest rates, you sell programs, granted, that's what most of us do. Like, that's kind of the overview of the job itself. But I grew up on the west side of Chicago and in a fun-loving, poor family, which I didn't realize we were poor until I got older, right? Because, when you're a kid, everything just seems awesome, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Then
right.
you get older, you're like, man, was that our house? I kind of realized that, and a lot of my family members, we didn't have conversations about money other than the fact that we didn't have any. Can't buy that, can't buy this, can't, so I saw a lot of that. There was I wasn't around a lot of wealth, and the first exposure I think I got to African American people that were well-to-do was when I went to high school. I went to Lane Tech High School in Chicago, which is a phenomenal school.
Right.
And that was the first time I was actually in an integrated school. Most of the schools I went to were predominantly African American. But going to Lane, and I always tell people this, I was exposed to all races of people, but Black people that were upwardly mobile.
Right.
Black people that
Right.
own businesses and own houses and had nice cars. I mean, I had peers in school that drove to school in Mercedes, and I was like, I'm on CTA bus number 8. How did this happen?
Right, right.
And I started noticing that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something that drove me, but it struck my curiosity because
Right.
I thought, well, you kind of think everybody's like how you are until you see something different. And fast forward, go to college, get out of college. What am I going to do? And I ran into somebody that I knew from college who was a mortgage broker. I said, I could do that, I think, start working for him part-time. And I worked for him. I realized that I needed training. I needed to learn more.
Wow.
I said, well, I think I need to work for a bank, right? Because banks give you health insurance. They don't pay you a lot, but they give you health insurance and
Right.
they train you. So I needed that. Then once I got to the bank, it was a process, right? I got to the bank, and at the bank is where I realized that, oh, this is a game changer. So real estate isn't just like having a house and cookouts and stuff. People making money doing this stuff, you know, and then the light bulb started going off, and then I thought, and I'm in it.
Right.
I'm doing this. So let me get really good at it. So then I was at every workshop, every training. I was talking people's ears off, asking questions so I could learn. I mean, I was like Pac-Man, you know, like give me more, because I wanted to know everything. And then I started doing workshops in my community. And I've been doing workshops for over a decade.
Wow.
Educating and telling people, I call it the secret that people didn't want you to know. But really, it's true. A lot of us don't really know how things work. They don't know how loan officers are paid. They don't know how we pick a program. They don't know how are programs created. You know, all of that stuff. So now I'm aware of all of that stuff, and I teach people that stuff. So.
Okay. Well, I got to ask you, why is selecting a good loan officer so important, and what separates you from other mortgage loan officers?
Well, you know, I think I kind of alluded to that earlier. Like when you talk to a loan officer, the first few questions we're technically trained to ask you are you employed? How long you been on your job? What's your income? How's your credit? You know, right? Those are the standard questions. You're going to get that from everybody. For me, it's a little different because I like to become a part of the journey. You know, I usually get to know my clients pretty well because I'm more concerned about why are you here? Why is this important to you? How can I help you reach your goal? What are your ambitions? What are your thoughts around this? Because I really ultimately am on a mission to help people realize that they can create wealth in real estate. Right. Real estate is the #1 wealth creator in the country.
Exactly.
And when I talk to my clients, I let them know that because I feel like sometimes they do think it's just a house or it's just a this, but it's more than that because it's a game changer. It's a life changer. So for me, the difference is I'm actually looking to partner. I'm looking to partner with you to help you realize your goals.
And so you walk them through the process, even if they got bad credit or past bankruptcies and evictions, and you're still able to help people like that?
Well, when you say help people like that, sure, I can help anybody who's willing to help themselves. Okay. Right? I can't change somebody's habits. I can't, say, okay, you haven't paid your bills in 5 years, and now all of a sudden you're just going to pay your bills. You might need to go to counseling. Sometimes, it becomes a lot deeper. Sometimes people make bad financial decisions because of things that have happened to them. Some people, ease pain of past things by going to buy stuff and overextending. It really, the things that I touch on in a conversation are pretty, like you just wouldn't expect it. But having a financial conversation with somebody is, sometimes it's embarrassing. Sometimes it's like, it's eye-opening. It's, it's humbling. Yes. If somebody doesn't have great credit, they're only like, I got bad credit, and nobody walks around with the big 400 credits on their head. Like, that's me,
Well, I like the process you walk them through it. Me and Melissa been talking lately. We deal with a lot of people that fix people credits, but they don't educate them on finances. Right. And so they get on social media, I'll help such and such fix their credit. But then when you listen, see like some of their posts, like we had an incident where we seen they fixed somebody credit, but then that person went back and got a $28,000 loan with a 26% interest rate. Right. You saw?
Don't get me started on credit repair.
So I like that you walk through the process. So.
Yeah, and if I can tap on credit for just a second.
Yes.
So credit is the new king, right? We got to get past cash. For those of us, and I'm speaking to folks that who grew up like me, where you don't have money, you're trying to create wealth, you're trying to build something. You got to figure out how to use this credit thing to your advantage, right? And it doesn't happen by, like you said, going to get 26% interest rate on $28,000, right? Because somebody else is making money on that deal, right? But credit gets you started. Just as a personal example, when I had a job, I got out of college, I had a job. I wanted to buy a house. I couldn't. My credit was horrible. Now, then I had to say, well, why was my credit horrible? Was it horrible because I just didn't pay my bills, or was it horrible because, nobody told me that this stuff was gonna follow me. When first time I saw my credit report, I didn't know that somebody knew that I wasn't paying those people. Let's just say, right? I didn't know that. So then when
thought you was getting by.
how did they know? You know, right? Because when the person pulls your credit, you're like sitting there on the phone waiting for them to tell you,
right?
Okay, when would you like to buy your house, and you know, how soon would you like to close? That's kind of what I was waiting for. First of all, I didn't get a call back right away because my credit was jacked. I figured it out on my own. I wrote letters. I was the poor college student. I didn't pay stuff because when I got $50, it was like, pay Capital One or go to dinner. I go to dinner, you know, because I gotta go eat. You know, I could always convince myself to use my money on something else besides paying my bills because I felt like I didn't see that, even though I did because I bought whatever I bought, right? And so credit repair, I feel like it's like everybody now has like a credit repair person, like a mechanic. You know, I'm just gonna go see my credit repair guy because I ain't paid this guy. I'm gonna have to remove that. You know, I'm just gonna go see my credit repair guy because you know this ain't working right now, so I'm gonna go fix it. You know, and I'm like, credit repair people are becoming like the mechanics. You know, the doctor's office. Just fix. I'm gonna get it fixed. I called my credit repair guy the other day. You know, and I'm like, oh wow, so. People have credit repair people like mechanics.
I don't know. To me, it seems like they putting bandages on the wound. They're not really getting healing.
Yeah, well, and the thing is that my biggest concern, you know, I believe there's going to be another crash. I'm not sure what will cause it. I don't think we're out of the woods post foreclosure crisis. It's not over. Actually, due to much of the intel that I have, it's not over. It's just bandaged right now.
Right.
To stimulate the economy. But credit repair cripples people, especially African American people, because we're already 30 years behind, and the foreclosure crisis put us further behind. And so now what you have a lot of people trying to rebuild in a systemic problem that doesn't enable you to build.
Right. One of the crises seem like we having, and I know we keep going on, but this is a good conversation, is the property tax. In the south suburbs alone, we wanted to buy a house over in South Holland. It's $18,000 a year just in property tax.
Yeah.
Oh, you look at Country Club Hills, $12,000 a year. People are losing their homes at rapid rates because they can't even keep up with the taxes. Yeah. So I think that's one of the things that's going to cause the crisis is property taxes.
Yeah. And that's spearheaded too by a lack of development in terms of commercial development, business development. Because normally in certain places you have industrial plants, you have places like that kind of take the brunt of the property tax. And then I mean, not speaking about those communities because I'm not familiar with why,
right?
But when I've seen that and I researched that, it's because there's a smaller amount of industrial places, businesses. They're mostly homeowners. When you have mostly homeowners and you have expenses, and who pays the bills?
Right.
It's the homeowners. And then certain homeowners buying at certain price points, we're going to stick them with a bigger tax bill.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I know that, a lot of people think that, there's only one type of loan. Either the bank gives you a loan.
Right.
And either you get it or you don't.
Right.
So can you tell us maybe some of the, because me as a veteran, I know I have options and I know we've talked extensively about that. So can you just tell us maybe some of the different types of loans that people can receive?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, there's VA loans for veterans, like you mentioned, which is 100% financing. And any veteran in their right mind better use their VA benefit, right? I don't want to look at the camera, but I'm going to look at the camera. Because, for a long time, I have a lot of family members that are veterans, and there wasn't very much benefit, unfortunately, for veterans. But now there is so much more for veterans,
right?
That I think every veteran, and thank you for your service, by the way, Veterans Day just passed. My cousin just retired after 21 years in the military. Awesome. And, she went right out of high school. And, so it's just, they're VA loans. Then you've got I-10 loans, which are for non-citizens.
Oh.
And then
see, I wasn't even aware of that.
Yeah. Well, not many banks offer them. I offer them with my company. To help everyone own a home. Then there are FHA loans, which is pretty common. But then you also have the FHA 203K, which is a rehab loan, which is how we met, right?
Right. Exactly.
So I do 203K rehab loans, and just kind of to let people know, the biggest wealth creation tool is probably a rehab loan, because you buy a home, you fix it up yourself, right? And then you realize a larger bottom line. In most cases, in some cases, you get a beautiful home and you don't have to do that. But to create opportunity for folks that don't have that ability to buy that kind of home, the 203K is a great option.
Okay.
And then just really fresh off the press, we have a new 100% FHA CLTV loan where we can help anyone pretty much with their down payment. The requirements are not far-reaching, and we're going to be rolling out that program very soon.
Okay.
So, if anyone is watching and they have a job and they just want to buy a house, but maybe always trying to save up that pot of money for down payment has been a challenge, we've got your back.
Because I think some people don't have to necessarily pay 20% because a lot of people think, I've got to get 20%.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
then they just say,
not.
forget about it, because 20% of 200,000
It's
can
$40,000.
be right,
Exactly.
exactly.
Insane. Yeah. So, well, we have a 3% down program, a 3.5% down program,
Right.
a 5% down program, 10% down. So there are so many down payment options.
Wow.
20% is like a rarity.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, you can own a home with 3% down.
Yeah.
Right? You can get down payment assistance. We have a couple of down payment assistance options where
Okay.
the down payment is completely covered.
Okay.
So there are a lot of different loan options. I mean, I would tell people the best thing for them to do is to, they can email me. I think I can give you my email address, right? Email me and I can give them the information on different options that may be available and organizations that can educate them on the home buying process and all that kind of stuff. And then they can learn about that stuff.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, say if I come in, say me and my new wife here, we come in, we want to buy a home. We don't have no credit.
No credit? Okay.
No credit.
Okay.
But we make good money. We pay all our bills, time and stuff like that. But we just don't have no credit. Do y'all have any loans that will kind of structure around the income that we make?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, Andre. So we actually have a no FICO loan program, too. A lot of banks don't offer that either. So if someone doesn't have credit, we have a loan for them.
Now, what's the name of the company you with?
I work for Altera Home Loans.
Okay. And they pretty much help a lot of minorities?
They help everybody, but the mission is to help build wealth in the communities.
Okay.
And, I'm African American. My clients range from neighborhoods, but I am impassioned about the African American community because I know the devastation that's been caused, but I also know what's waiting.
So now that we've talked about, the different types of home loans, I know you've met so many people and they're really apprehensive about getting the loan. What are some of the things, because I know some of our audience may have talked to a mortgage loan officer and they've had
Or
some
me.
of these, or you, right?
Right. They're like, I know her.
They've talked to right. What is some of the pushback? Because what I want our audience to know is that loan officers know that there's pushback.
Yeah.
But they're here to help you. So what are some of the reasons, excuses, whatever you want to call it? What's some of the pushback you receive why someone doesn't want to own a home, and what's your recommendation on home ownership?
Well, that's a really good question, Melissa. When you say pushback, that's so funny. I heard it once before where, if you give people bad news, you tell them something they don't want to hear, they give up, but they stop trying. And, a lot of times when I talk to people, I get more people that don't qualify for a home than people that do. So I feel like on my end, I have to, deliver that information very gently.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't know what it took for that person to get to me, to get to the
Right.
point where they picked up the phone and said, "Hi, my name is, I want to get a loan. What do I have to do?"
Yes.
Because of where they came from. The pushback comes from not hearing what they want to hear right away. Oh, I can't get what I want. Oh, forget it then. It's like, no. Let me explain to you the process.
Right.
Credit and debt are the two biggest hurdles.
Right.
We have tools internally that can help borrowers that have different challenges with their debt, with their credit, etc. I usually kind of walk people through a plan, try to help them figure out what they should do next to qualify. You earlier asked what the difference between me and another loan officer.
Yes.
Honestly, I spend a lot more time trying to help people get ready than people that are ready. Just because, I was once the person who didn't get the response or feedback because I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Right.
And I never forget that, because when I actually was ready, then I was like, wait, I will tell you, right? Because I worked so hard. It took me 4 years to go from I'm not ready to actually being a homeowner. So that 4-year time period, if somebody would have taken time with me, I would have realized well sooner, right? I would have, I would have progressed sooner. So the pushback is, they're not ready. They're concerned about what it's going to take for them to get ready. They're nervous. They're sad. I've had people cry. I just was really hoping this would be, good news. I mean, I feel it. I hear it. So I would tell people, don't give up. You might not be ready, but there are ways you can get ready. Not everybody starts out ready. I didn't start out ready, and I've owned many homes, right?
Yeah.
So, you start one place and then you keep trying. And then about home ownership, it is next to having peace and a connection with God, I would say that owning a home is a new level of freedom. Coming into something that you own and that you worked hard for and you have, it feels good.
Yes.
It's like, this is mine.
Right.
There's a feeling that comes with owning a home. I've been at closings where I've cried. I cried in my own closing.
Right.
Because you feel like this, it's like, here's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You worked for something, you fought hard, and you got there. There's a reward.
Right. Very quickly, because we got 4 minutes left. And maybe you could educate our viewers. When they walk into a loan officer's office, what documentation should they have?
Oh, okay. So their most recent W-2s, their most recent 30-day pay stubs, their 2-year W-2s.
Okay.
Their most recent 2 months bank statements, and their most recent 2-year tax returns.
Okay.
Filed tax returns.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be, and of course ID and stuff, but that would be like the basic information they would bring to any loan officer.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Anything else before we close
So
out?
did you want to tell our viewers before we end this segment anything you want them to know about home ownership, about getting their finances in order? You're just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to those types of things. So if you want to share anything, please do so.
Okay, well, so I don't have like a big fancy speech or anything. I like to give people knowledge nuggets and then something to think about. And so everybody's heard of McDonald's, right? McDonald's is what? What is McDonald's?
The Golden Arches? Or
Yeah, it's known around the world.
Oh, yeah, it's worldwide.
What do they do?
all over.
What does McDonald's do?
Make burgers.
Make burgers.
Fries. The fries too.
No.
Right.
And real estate. Real estate too. They're investors.
Okay. Yeah. So the last thing you said is the key thing to know about McDonald's. Most people know McDonald's as the world's largest franchisee of burger flippers, right? But McDonald's is actually the world's largest real estate holder in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Besides maybe Catholic Charities and a couple other folks, but McDonald's is not actually a burger flipping joint, right? McDonald's is a real estate company.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all know there's a lot of wealth surrounding McDonald's.
Yes.
Yeah.
So people should know that real estate is actually the #1 wealth creator in the country.
Awesome.
Every person who is of any amount of means owns real estate and lots of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The other thing I would say is make 2018 the year to own. And own before too long. The other thing is look at other resources like the Cook County Land Bank. Most people are not aware of the Cook County Land Bank. Recently, the Cook County Land Bank is actually giving away a home. They're giving away a home. You can go online and apply to win a free house, which is awesome. It's called the Home Buyer Direct Program. And can I give out the website or tell people?
We'll have that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there are lots of resources out there. You have to connect yourself with someone that actually can put you in touch with those things to help you find out more than just Googling something or whatever, because there's so much information. It's like, what is the right information
Right.
that pertains to you? So I guess that will be all.
Thank you
All right.
so much.
Thank
This
you,
has been
Catherine,
exciting.
for coming out. Yeah, so we thank everybody for tuning in to Contemporary Living with Farmer and Hill. Once again, as always, we thank God for his unmerited, undeserving favor called grace. For grace is the total absence of any works. You can't work for grace. You can't buy grace. You can't sell it. It is simply what God has given to each and every one of us because we believe in what he did for us on the cross. For we believe that Christ died for our sins. He was buried, and he rose again the third day for our justification. Be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Teenage on the track.